So my sound wasn't working. So we're doing a voiceover today. We're going to work on serving overhand. Overhand serving is a lot like throwing a ball, but instead of your release point, you're going to hit and make contact with the ball there. So your hand's still loose like throwing a ball. You don't want it super tight. You're going to use your finger pads, not the palm. So it's like shooting a basketball, all the finger pads on your hands and your fingers. The pads make it to where it's better. So we're going to start with a drill where all you're going to do is hit the ball. And we're looking for a specific sound, a spiking sound or a serving sound, and not a thud, not a dying sound or a low tone sound. Make contact like a slapping noise, swinging hard. So it's harder for younger kids because of the balance on the non-dominant hand. But the more you practice, the better you get. We're going to work on not having our hand and our fingers close together, but fingers are big, and I say big hand a lot to my athletes, and your wrists loose. So from there, we'll go to throwing, and we're just going to throw the ball over the net, working on our weight on our back foot, transferring it to the opposite front foot, working on release point. So most athletes I have that can't serve overhand, I'm like, throw the ball over the net, and they can. And I'm like, if you can throw it, you can hit it. So we're proving to them that they have the power to do it and gaining confidence in the skill of getting that ball over the net.
Right, the first step is with the feet. Transfer your weight from your back foot to your front foot. So your back foot should be your dominant hand's foot, and then the opposite foot should be front. So we just get close to the wall and we practice transferring our weight.
So as you watch her, she transfers her weight really good, making sure that serving foot is the back foot, the opposite foot is the front foot, transferring the weight. That's where your power comes from, is that transfer weight. A lot of the time I don't even teach a step. It's just a weight transfer to minimize the motion and the movement that the athletes have to do, trying to make everything consistent.
The next step would be finding a spot on the wall and making our hand touch as high as it can. And that's where I'm going to toss the ball, is that high. So I'll then just work on a toss right here to that height a bunch of times, and then work on adding my feet. Toss, transfer. Toss, transfer.
So I like to say toss, step, hit. So we're going to use that, but we're using the wall to measure our toss so that it's not too low and it's not too high. So we make our hand and where our hand hits that point. So that hand distance from the wall should be about where you are, but the ball should not hit the wall with the toss. So we'll work on toss, transfer, toss, transfer. And if we toss too high, that transfer doesn't happen as quick, or it happens too soon, so the ball's behind our head and we don't have power to get the ball over. So as you're watching athletes, or as you are an athlete, make sure it's a toss, hit. But on that hit is when you transfer your weight. Toss, step, hit. Toss, step, hit. It seems simple, but the cycle of it can be hard.
And then from there, I get my arm in it, and from toss, transfer, then I will swing and make the ball hit, stop on the wall. So that all works with timing.
So a lot of the time I have athletes that push the ball, and that is their elbows forward instead of behind their head. And so we're looking for an actual hit and not a push. It's really hard to break the push just because it takes a lot of practice to get it to where that elbow is back. So focus on elbow back, swing through, make contact where you would release a ball if you were to throw over the net. So there's the push that I show you that they like to do. So my poor little Hattie gets hit here. It's part of playing a sport, toughens them up. She actually hardly cried and was ready to go again. So Darren's foot is too far away. We're trying to get close to the wall, about an arm's length away from the wall. And she's pushing a little bit. As you can see, her elbow's in front. But she's learning. There was a good one. She's learning. So from the wall drill, then we'll go to actually hitting. And if we can't do it there, then we'll go back to throwing, trying to get the progression of the feet movement. But hitting and serving actually over the net, and we start close to the net, and then as we progress, we take a step back. And if we hit, we take a step back to where our arms are warm and we can serve the full distance. Here I'm correcting her, reminding her what footsteps, where my arm goes, where we make contact like throwing a ball. And as you see, she gets better. As she almost hits Hattie again, but she progresses and gets better. So just work on that toss, not behind your head, not too far in front. We shouldn't be chasing the ball down. We should be tossing the ball to our hand, essentially. And our feet don't really move. It's all minimizing the movement to maximize the trajectory of the ball. So Hattie likes to play with us and loves just to be outside with us. So as we start them young, I don't ever force my kids to do anything, but we practice and have a good time outside. If they don't want to, I'm like, then we're done. That's fine. Let's go in. So right now we're doing a drill. It's a 3-toss drill. So I can do 3, I can do 5, I can do 15, but I have the athlete toss the ball and catch it so many times before they serve, just working on the consistency of the toss. And now we're just playing. So if you want to stay and watch and see us correct and have a good time just outside. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy and learn something.
Yes, that was beautiful. That was a point for you. Yeah, that was another point. Good job.
1.
Oh! It went. Hey, you gotta remember, if you have to, you gotta go back up against the wall to practice your tossed up hit.
Oh.
But you didn't hit it, you tossed it. That was a way better toss. Remember, your other hand has to hit. Oh, whoa.
You got it way easier.
Yeah, that was a good serve.
Told you I was cheating.
Really good. Oh! Whoa! Beating up our badminton.
You are?
You're supposed to bump it, see? Better.